right, sorry about that. I'm back. But we're doing a Mardi Gras party this year, and we're doing it at one of the swankiest venues in La Crosse proper. Hopefully, I can't tell you much just yet, but it's a Mardi Gras, the Mardi Gras party we're throwing, or I'm working on. It's going to be an auction for it's all going to benefit a charity. 2, there's going to be a silent auction in which I'm going to be hitting up a lot of you local businesses here in La Crosse and maybe a little bit outside and beyond for some assistance. I'm going to need, donations and whatnot to do for this charity. Next, we're going to be doing a bachelor and bachelorette auction. I'm stealing some of these ideas from a movie. I'm not going to tell you which, but those of you who are in on this know where the idea comes from. The Many Faces of Darth Vader. I've already finished a pot of coffee today. Not happy about that. It's not even 9 a.m. yet. But so that's going to happen. I have to leave in about an hour. Anyway, from there, one of my friends and I were talking over the weekend, and recently today, actually, as I was talking to another DJ I'm friends with and refer to, about promotion and how you market and promote yourself from the club aspect of it to the wedding aspect of it and whatnot, online, in print, etc. Now, what works for me as a DJ may not work for others because the way I DJ, my style, how I promote it works for me, and that's how I want to put it. For example, during wedding season, I've made it very clear this year, I have stayed sober since pretty much at middle of April. I may have had a few beers over the summer. I think I've had 3 or 4 since the start of the summer, but I made it very clear this year that during wedding season in my promotions that I'm staying sober. I'm doing the best I can to give great weddings to everyone that hires me. But now you'll notice in my promotions, I'm alluding to the December bender. That's where I get 5 weeks of screwing around. And a bunch of my friends know I've been holding off on drinking, as well as clubs and some are gonna, help give into my alcoholics ways, I guess, by letting me encourage, binge drinking for the month of December. Thank you, appreciate it. But it plays into a lot of factors how I promote. And one person, made it very clear to me, you have a very specific promotion style. Part of that comes from me running a rock club in Chicago for 14 years. It also comes from me playing in a band. And that band was started in 2003. We did Warped in 2005. Big shout out to Jeremy and Dave. I miss you boys. Jeremy now living in Seattle. Dave now living in the D. But so learning promotions was a big part of knowing what I'm doing when I walk onto my computer or log into my computer and start doing my week's promotion bit. And you'll see it. I'm sure some people have caught it and noticed it. My promotion is very regimented. I look for specific times during the day when I know my post will get the most hits and will avoid posting in dead times. For example, I'm not posting at 2 in the morning to get anybody to look at my page. The only thing I'm posting at 2 in the morning is a thanks for coming out to my set. Hope you all got hammered, stuff like that. But I will do that my promotions every day. I'm very clear and concise in how they go. If you look at my page, you will see that. I'd like to think it helps. I mean, there are other factors in my promoting that do. For example, I make it clear that I like to party, only during the off season. And so if you notice, in my last year's promo, when I was still being a little bit more stupid and reckless with my drinking and partying, I should say, I would be all about it. Let's go get hammered. Let's go get effed up. Blah, 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 blah. And throw caution to the wind. Good or bad, it got people out or didn't get people out. It might scare some people off. But then one person made a very clear point that I am who I am, and I don't hide it. I don't try, First and foremost, everybody knows I'm a single parent. And I do promote the fact, in my promotions, I will be clear about it. That I have Mira, we are a team. She's my little bestie, my DJ assistant. But I only bring her around when it's appropriate. I'm sure as hell not going to bring her down to like downtown La Crosse on a Saturday in Oktoberfest at midnight. I'm not that brave, and I certainly don't want her seeing that aspect of the DJ Bretley thing yet. I'm sure she has her suspicions because she's even asked me before, hey, Daddy, do you get drunk? Have you been drunk? And I've been very honest about it. Yes, I do get drunk occasionally, and I have been drunk. But I can play that into my promotions. The other things I play into my promotions, and you will see, I will throw cute little memes out and be kind of obnoxious. And, like, for example, yes, I took a bunch of pictures from porno collage and said the many faces of karaoke. Got me a lot of hits. Also got some people upset if a few people didn't like me putting something like that up. I just thought it was kind of funny. So anything I can do to drive hits to my page with my promotion stuff is one thing I'm very big about. So you will definitely see me using some obnoxious memes or questions. For example, what's the worst song to have sex to? That was one of the best things I've heard. And one of the side notes on that was somebody said, especially if you're in prison. No joke. But yeah, like I would love to see a bunch of guys in prison dancing to Nelly's Hot in Here. That would be hilarious. But in any case, my promotion I'm very particular about and I focus on it. And if something isn't working in my promo end of it, like all people know, I will make changes to it. But in my promo over the week, you will see me doing the usual promotion. This DJ, same venue, same venue, same venue. There's a meme about that. But I will let everybody know where my gigs are for the week. For example, this week I have 2 public gigs and a wedding. I took Halloween off. I've got to be out of my mind, but I am taking Halloween off. And actually I have 4 gigs this week, I think. Yeah, we'll get into that in a minute. But, yeah, I want people to know where I'm at, help promote and promote the venues I'm at as well. Because remember, promotions, if you are a wedding DJ, aren't the same as if you're a club DJ or a band or musician. When you DJ at clubs and venues, it's a hand-in-hand job. You need to promote with the venue. You both need to focus on making your night the best it can be. So, for example, and I was talking about this with another DJ off and on over the year, about promotions and if a venue's responsibility to you and your responsibility to the venue. For example, promotions. Again, I'm going to, as the artist, entertainer, musician, band, I am going to bust my ass to let everybody know where my show is and on what night. And that's also why I don't book myself over and over and over again in the same market 2 or 3 nights in a week. I rotate my markets. It helps the venue get better out of me, and it also helps me promote one night in that market. So, for example, this week, my Wednesday night, I'm at the Driftless Arcade here in La Crosse. Friday night, I'm at Smokies in Holman. And so those are 2 entirely different markets, albeit very close together. They're about 10 miles apart, maybe 15 miles apart. So it makes a little bit of a distinction. I'm not in the same strip, same area 2 nights in a row. Now, there are times that will change, and I'll get into that at some point. But then I have a wedding on Saturday. Now, the times I do change that, for example, Saturday night is the Driftless Arcade Halloween party. So right after I do my wedding on Saturday, I run to Driftless and do the Halloween party there. That's one of the exceptions because it's my regular resident night on Wednesday and a special event on Saturday. But as a musician or entertainer or DJ, more often than not, you don't want to play the same area over and over day after day. You want to break it up. In an area like Chicago, for example, when I used to book on the north side, I didn't want a band playing my room and then going and playing a venue 2 miles away on the north side the same week. I wasn't cool with that, and a lot of venues aren't. It diminishes and waters down what you do. So now, instead of getting one great big draw at one night, you might be splitting that draw up between 2 or 3 nights in the same area. No one wants that. It reduces the number of people at every venue, reduces the number of drinks sold, and bodies in one room. So, in order to bolster that, I tend to book in different areas every night I can. Now, exceptions to that: holiday weekends in lacrosse, graduation weekend, things like that. Those are weekends I'll stay in town all weekend if I can, or if I know I'm just going to be too scared of, the craziness, I'll hike up out of town. But when you're promoting around that, now it brings me back to, okay, I can put all my promotions this week into my Friday night gig at Smokies in Holman, and then put my other half and promote to lacrosse at the Driftless Arcade. So I can promote to two different communities every day until leading up to these gigs, as well as projectively promote. For example, you will see my calendar poster on the top of my DJ page. Here's what I'm playing over the next few weeks or months. By doing so, I'm able to focus my promotions properly and make sure I get the most out of every post and every time I hop online to promote a date. So, the same things goes with bands. And now, another conversation I had, and a lot of my friends who are talent buyers, because as you know, I still do book some shows. I'm booking at Tailgaters in Elgin, Minnesota. I'm also booking some shows at Maple Grove venues in West Salem when they're looking for big events, and I also DJ some of their big events there. I also, thank you, Dave, for the occasion to let me drop shows in at Livewire Lounge in Chicago, an underground lounge. Now, within that part of it, I'm so thankful that this year IPO, International Pop Overthrow, the world's, because it is International Pop Overthrow, the world's premier power pop music festival is at Livewire Lounge in Chicago. I'm so glad that was able to be taken from the Red Line, or moved from the Red Line tap into Livewire. So cheers, David. Cheers, Dave, and David, I should say. I'm glad it worked out well. Which leads me up to this in promotions. Say you put all of your best efforts into promoting yourself, promoting your gig, and it flops. It happens. However, if it's a continual or repeating thing, or say, for example, you're just not the right fit for the venue's not the right fit for you. And my friends who are promoters and booking agents can also chime in. A venue's under no obligation to tell you anything. And I know I was slightly notorious for it back in the day when I was booking the Red Line Tap and Heartland Cafe and No Exit. Yeah, I'd give a band a couple of chances, as every other promoter did. But over the years, I got a little bit different about that and a little bit nicer about that and changed how I handled it. But one thing, the venue's under no obligation to tell you anything if you suck. Plain and simple. If you don't work for the venue and the venue doesn't work for you, one, the venue's just going to stop booking you. They're not going to reply to you. Part two of it, if the venue isn't working for you, why do you want to keep flogging a dead horse? You've promoted your ass off. It's time to move on. And at that point, and you'll see even some changes in my DJ schedule over the last year, I've made sure that I'm in the venues that fit for me, and I'm a fit for the venue. I don't want anything that doesn't fit. Therefore, when I'm putting my gig schedule together, I want to make sure the venue works for me and vice versa. I want to do the best I can for that venue. And it even came up to a conversation this morning. Yes, you know I'm still a smoker, whatever. It'll be the undoing of me. But today's conversation, venues hire you till, and around this area, some are only till midnight, like in the outer communities outside of La Crosse and out Alaska. Same with weddings. However, one thing I'm always clear about, especially at like Silverado, Smokies, Angry's Way Out, when I do certain bar gigs, if you are busy, I will stay there until the last person leaves. Because I want the bar to have a good night with me, and I want people to remember they had a fun time when I was there. So they keep coming back and know, I might be a few late, but if I'm there, he'll keep playing. That's also a way of promotion, because now people know what you do, the more and more you do it. And if they're having a fun time, word of mouth, hey, that DJ or that band was over at this venue. I'm going to go there because and I want to stay out late. It helps. So that's another aspect of promotion. Another thing I do is I also promote, whatever gig you see me at, I have my card box with wedding rat cards, stickers, and business cards sitting on top of my subs or on a table next to me. Anytime somebody asks, do you do this or this? I hand them a card. I make sure people can, know that. And then the other thing I do every time I go to a wedding venue is I bring a stack of rack cards and business cards as well as stickers to bring to the venue and the venue's manager. That way, if they have couples looking and they like what I do, they can recommend me to those couples. And it's worked very well. I am on promotions is quite honestly the number one thing as a DJ I've had to handle, outside of learning my music and learning my controller better and better every day and every time I get behind my decks. So, with your promotions, you need to figure out what your number one objective goal is. And not just for individual gigs, but the big picture. Where do you want to move with your promotions? Where do you want to be? And for me, it was, all right, Mira said, go be a DJ, Daddy. And her and I had to talk about it. So I took that to heart. And I decided to say I'm going to try to be the best mobile or multifaceted DJ in my market. And knock on wood, I think I'm getting close to it. And I know I have a lot of room for improvement. But now is refining what that is. So my goal was that. Now, how do I get to that point? And you make that triangle. What steps, or something I took away from my 90 and 90 in 2003, yes, or 2001 or 2, something like that. No, 2003, was the steps to it. And taking the big book from NA and AA and utilizing that to step forward into my life. Therefore, and I'm not saying I'm sober in any way, shape, or form, but utilizing the teachings of that book and implementing those into my life. So when they tell you everything is a step, one step at a time, you take all those steps to the big picture. Look at it from the back, and then how do you accomplish that? And so I'm still working on how to accomplish that, but it seems to be working thus far, knock on wood. But that was my conversation with another DJ today, promotions. And that's my biggest aspect in it all today is booking and promotions. Outside of going to the meeting, Mardi Gras party. But anyway, I've got a lot of other things I'm working on this week. I really want it, since I don't have to work on Thursday this week, I only really want to put together a really good Halloween mix and go through my music some more. Not having a night off from the club scene, from the club gigs, I want to utilize it to its fullest potential. Therefore, I get to work on my computer and really hone in on some music again. I want to prep my computer for New Year's Eve, which is only 2 months away, and all the club gigs I have coming up until then, to have a basic premise of, what are be my bangers for New Year's Eve, and to simplify my life for New Year's Eve, and the club gigs I have for the December bender. So, at that point, I will be doing that on Thursday. Friday, I'll probably be doing more of the same. Saturday, I have a wedding at Myrick Park, like I was saying. And then after that wedding, I'm going to the Driftless Arcade for the Halloween party. Mainly to MC it, but to play some good music in the background because, I am a DJ. So I'm going to get to it. I will probably check back in a little later. I hope everybody's having a great Tuesday morning. Talk to y'all soon.